I thought I had a couple extra seconds. You're messing with my stuff here. What's happening?
What's going on? What's going on?
Another week, another holiday.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening? Anything good?
Same old here.
Slow week this week.
Yeah. She's cold. I guess I'll leave that one alone. I just
waiting for this hot weather to get going here.
Yeah.
Boy, I went to a pool party today for my littlest. Turned 4 today. And it was, boy, that sun is still hot. Even outside the sun, it was still hot today.
Turned 4. Tell Emmett we said happy birthday.
Where's Emmett?
Emmett's not feeling very well, so he's upstairs on his Switch, kind of minding his own business, which is the way to be. So, like I said, looking an awful lot like maybe he shared a little bit too much because things aren't so hot every place else either. So, we'll find out. I bet by tomorrow morning we'll know, right?
Uh-huh.
So, that's that in a nutshell. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Everybody must have had something that they picked up this week, right?
A little something.
A little bit.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing we got Corey with us this week, and I know. Let's turn on the comments here. I know. Hey, Nancy.
Yeah.
I got to remember. I got to get better at that. Remembering to just slide over and turn those comments on so I can see them.
Me too.
Nancy inspired me this week to buy one of the fold-out tables, so I'm working on some of my dioramas now.
Nice. You guys can't see it, but there is a. Oh, I don't know if you really should call this a diorama, considering it's 10 by 10.
There's probably been bigger.
I know there has. So tomorrow the goal is to get. This is going to sound stupid, but it's actually going to be to get one of the bays of the garage cleaned out enough so that I can get it out of here and set it up out there. Because I have to tell you, we start chipping away on styrofoam and everything else. I don't really want that in the house, and you certainly can't do any painting or anything like that in here with it. So to the garage, hopefully tomorrow. Like I said, if Emmett hasn't shared a little too much, we will see how that goes. But we might keep you apprised of how that goes. We might not. I might get into this and go, I'm not doing it. So we're gonna find out. It would make a very cool display at a show and stuff to promote something that's not, like this webcast or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna sell product with this thing there because it will take up an entire booth. But still, it would draw attention. It's just, we'll see, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing, unofficially, officially, in between everything else, right? Who? I'm just curious. Who got in on the? Did anybody get in on any level on the McFarland campaign this week? That was for the manta ray and the bat pod. Anybody do that?
Not me.
I did about a month or so ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm doing mine out of protest.
Looking at the final numbers on that, I got a sneaking suspicion those are going to show up on his store. They have to make more than was ordered. I know that much. I'm guessing that's going to turn into a regular item, considering that they dropped their requirement down by, 75%. They needed $600,000 and they dropped it down to $144,000. So I'm guessing they're going to show up at the store. I don't know. But I'm just curious if anybody else get in on that.
I didn't.
I forgot
The
about
reason
it.
I didn't do it in protest, I'm afraid Hasbro might catch wind of it, and they'll start doing that too.
What, a HasLab? Yeah, I wouldn't want them doing HasLabs. Holy cow.
I'm talking about for every figure.
Oh, no.
No, they're not going to do that.
Nope. they got the
They'll go
headlamp
direct
thing
to
down pretty
customer.
well pat. So
Yeah.
this
They'll
was
go direct to customer eventually.
if you look at what Todd did, it very much so like a Kickstarter ripoff. The whole thing was set up very much so like that. The neat thing about it was that there was so many different levels, so you could mix and match what you wanted to buy, which was very cool. You could buy the vehicles and no figures. You could buy the vehicle one figure, two figures, three figures. Buy both vehicles, no figures. Buy two. One vehicle with all the figure. It was actually, and the mix and match was actually pretty clever. But it
See,
just
it didn't give me that option. I could get the sub and the Black Manta and Aquaman, or I could get the Batman vehicle, Batman and Robin, or I could get all four figures and two vehicles.
That's interesting because when I first looked at it, man, the mix and match on it was really impressive. I mean, you could.
I mean, it had like where you get a T-shirt, or for a little bit more, you get something signed or something. But yeah, it didn't. When I done it, it didn't give me no options like that other than get this set, or both of them.
Huh?
See, I didn't know you could mix and match. Mix and match. I didn't know that.
Well, and to tell you the truth, I looked at it within the first day or so. Maybe that got done away with real quick. I don't know. I never looked back until they just magically said funded. You know what I'm saying? A week ago or so ago. I have to be honest with you. I was going to sneak on there and just I'm going to get the Batpod and the Batman and the Robin. Somebody else definitely could have used that Batman because I already have that one, the classic one. And I have to be honest with you guys, I completely forgot about it. Holiday weekend, we took a ride yesterday. I was trying to get caught up on some comics, and I completely spaced it. But I'm still convinced it's going to show up in the store on his store. So
I believe so.
I do. With the numbers, if they had hit the 600,000, I think they would have stuck with the exclusivity of it. But my guess is they just went into production no matter what, and the number for the 600,000 is what needed to be produced, and that's what's getting produced, and they'll show up on the store in 6 or 8 months, whatever. So we'll find out, right? I mean, it would have been neat to have it, but it's certainly not any kind of heartbreaker for me that I didn't get one. So far, anyways.
I get that.
So, if that makes any sense. Boy, that coffee's good tonight. I don't really know why, but it is. I'm in the habit of sitting here drinking iced coffee every Sunday night just because I'm on this ridiculous diet, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever got into one of these medically necessary diets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What a drag, man. So I get my little treat is my little iced coffee. I sit here with you guys every Sunday night and have that. But hey, you know what? I'm down like 37 pounds from my heaviest, which you guys get it. It's all complicated. You get to a certain age where things got to change, or things are going to change. You know how that goes. But I have decided I've been terribly negative in the last few shows, or all of them, matter of fact.
Really?
I'm going to be Mr.
I haven't noticed.
Now on. I'm going to be Mr. Positive. If anybody says anything I don't like, I'm not going to pay any attention to it. I'm not going to gripe and complain about every little thing anymore, or even the big things that deserve to be griped and complained
He
about.
just made it to the top of the show.
Yep. See, look at that. I'm so high on life now. I'm at the top of the stairs.
He's now what we call Jan Brady.
That's right.
Marsha.
Nice. Boy, that's a weird story, isn't it? Go there, but
Hasbro.
Todd.
Emily.
George Glass.
Speaking of somebody that needs to get hit in the face with a football, Mr. McClellan definitely been jamming us up with product in the last 2 weeks, hasn't he? Holy cow. It's a holiday weekend, and he announced more pre-orders today.
Yep.
Wow.
He's killing his people.
wow. I mean, seriously, and the problem with him is he doesn't, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do this name only reveal stuff, and then 2 months later you get the digital renders, and then 2 months after that you get the pre-orders. If Todd says, "Hey, here's a new figure," it shows up the next Saturday.
Yeah,
right?
he dropped a list
Well-
last week before last, with like 25 names on it, revealed names.
Yeah.
And he's got half of them out already.
Well, John sent me a message the other day. Says he gets me the Hugo Strange, and it's just like you get no advance. Look, I get it. I really appreciate the fact that the speed that he gets these reveals out to the customers. But wow, that was quick, and it's just like I said, it's getting quicker.
I think, like you touched on, I think it was last week or week after last, Dave. I don't think he's going to renew the license. He's slinging them out as fast as he can.
I'm being positive.
Dave.
I do. I think that's what's happening. I think he's genuinely afraid that the license is going to be in limbo, and I don't think he wants it anymore. So hey, it's time to cash out, right? Put out as much stuff as you possibly can. I picked up the Shazam, the Vampire Shazam at Walmart this afternoon. They got here in Trustville. They got a whopping total of one. Now they have none because I bought it. Because I do want to stick with the vampires but I mean, you guys were showing the Hugo Strange, Dick Grayson, Batman figure, that amalgamation figure, that Batman Superman figure that showed up in that wave. Hugo Strange apparently is the hard to find, but that Dick Grayson Batman, it's almost like that wasn't well received enough. So what's he do today? He announces the Robin to go with it.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's a page puncher along with the Deathstroke, and it's just like, wow. I guarantee you those will show up in the stores probably. I don't know what the pre-order date is, but soon. So
I have been seeing the G.I. Joe page puncher at Walmart's. I've seen them at 2 or 3 Walmarts yesterday.
they announced, that is some McFarlane news right there. McFarlane did announce that the 3-inch page punchers are no more in single packages. If they do any at all, they will be in 2-packs. But I guess that's even up in the air whether the 3 inches will even continue to be made at all. They didn't really sell very well.
Well, you get 2 figures with very little articulation and a comic book for $15.
Yeah. No.
I ain't gonna buy them.
No. And that's,
$5 maybe, but not for 15.
no. And the page punchers, the 7-inch page punchers really haven't done very well. I mean, the Flash Wave did okay, but the other, 3 that they've done didn't do well at all. The Aquaman one was an absolute disaster. The original one, the Black Adam one, the first one didn't do well. And what was that? What was the other one? The caveman Batman thing. Those didn't really do very well either. So yeah, I don't know. They say, from McFarlane's standpoint, they say that the Superpowers line is a massive success. And I don't know how that's possible because 90% of those figures have been on clearance for months. But they say it's a huge success. And apparently from their standpoint, they don't need to make new bucks, new bodies, no nothing. They tweak head sculpts here and there, but that's it. It's the same figure over and over and over again, making a ton of money off of them apparently. But I just don't know how much longer Walmart specifically is going to want them jamming up their pegs because we're going to find out, right?
I think it's mostly an area thing because I'm in one of the Superpower Facebook groups. I joined one here, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I see people trying to find stuff that's on clearance here, and they can't find it in their area. So it's still that distribution thing.
It's still that distribution thing.
Yep,
it really is, and You'd like to think somebody was going to get to the bottom of that, but I'm not convinced that they really particularly care. I mean, it's just
They don't.
It's always been an issue for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it has. It has. For sure, it has.
Well, back in the 80s, they put out tons of, like G.I. Joe, you put out tons of them. They get cases and cases of them, all the Walmarts would. But now you get 1 or 2 cases, and then you may get the same case 15 times instead of getting the next wave.
Right.
Their ordering system's crazy and all now, you know.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Talk about regional. This is strange. In the comic book side of things, I went down to the comic strip down in Tuscaloosa yesterday because I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do about a pull list, but I wanted to at least get caught up. And there was a couple of storylines that I wanted to finish because the guys here in Birmingham, I'm sorry, they just screwed me over. I'm not going to play any games about it anymore. They just did. It was bad. Yeah, they did. I'm smiling. I'm smiling on the inside. But no, I got caught up except for 2 books yesterday down to the comic strip, which was pretty cool. Anyways, we got talking about the Transformer book, Transformers, and he agreed that it is one of the, if not the best book being published, printed right now in the mainstream anyways. It really genuinely is. It's a fantastic book. And it's consistently been in, I think, in the top 10 for months and months and months. What, issue 12 is either just came out or is about to come out?
I think it's about to come out.
About to come out, right, yes. But I said, we were talking about it, and I said, that would definitely be a book that I would put on a pull list if I decide to do that again. And it was very, very strange because he goes, oh yeah, no, he says, if you decide to, blah, blah, blah. He says, I'll remember it because, you'll be like the 4th guy in the whole shop that even reads the book. Which, that kind of threw me. How is it that a top 10 book that has gone into reprint after reprint after reprint, how is it that a shop his size in that town, a college town, he's doing very well for himself, there's only 2 or 3 guys reading that book, but it's a top 10 book? I wonder if that's just his shop, his clientele, or if it's Transformers. That was a really weird.
I can tell you how. Your college county, you probably got college students, but they're getting it on their phone digital.
Well, see, and that's the hard thing, and I've said that over and over again because the publishers decided to appeal to a younger audience that don't buy those books. They steal them digitally.
Yeah. Plus, you was in that T word, Tuscaloosa, and they all can't read anyway.
You just got on the list.
I'm protesting the show.
Uh-oh, she's going to start protesting.
I'm going to put Shane's name on that sign.
I don't think I can tell you. That's the only Alabama y'all team beating this year.
Oh, I have the power.
No, poor Corey. He made it 21 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, 21 minutes. He made it pretty good.
Good night, Corey.
That's not bad.
Good night, Corey.
Yeah, good night, Corey. No, I just thought that was weird. I don't know if that's a regional thing, that if more people on the West Coast like Transformers than they do on the East. It's very strange because I expected him, for that to be in the top 10 of his books, but no, it's just 2 or 3 other guys. It's very weird. So
you had the power of numbers.
I don't know. So what do you guys want to talk about? That's enough for me. I've been positive as I'm going to be, so that's enough. It's all I can stomach.
Let's talk about the cons real quick.
Yep. Go ahead and drink coffee. PulseCon. I think. Check your local listings. 10 a.m. our time, Friday the 13th. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which is it? It's the 13th, anyways, and I'm pretty sure it's at 10 a.m. our time, which is a
1
complete
p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern, so it's
One-
noontime our time.
1 p.m. Eastern, so it'll be noon for us, yes.
Yep, noontime for us will be
Friday the 13th.
the quarterly sacking of our wallets by Hasbro. For those of us that collect G.I. Joe, we were talking about just speculating before we started. I'm guessing 6 figures and probably the claw, and 2 of them are big, which is shoot, the exclusive. Help me, baby blue Starduster,
Stardust.
and Nemesis Immortal. Yep, that's the guess. But like Corey said, Corey is definitely of the school that if he's not able to get a Once a Man Cobra Commander, the whole Cobra La subline is off for him, and I think that's I think that's going to be very common, and I think, to be perfectly honest with you, it's reasonable, because if you're just going to have a glaring hole in the middle of your Cobra La collection, why start, right? If you missed the first one, what's the sense in? So the hope, right? The hope is that they will come back up for reorder during PulseCon, like Serpentor did, and Mindbender too, right? Mindbender did end up going back up again, right?
Yep, Chuckles did too.
Yeah, and Chuckles. So there's definitely a precedent for that happening. So you never know. And I don't know how much heat they've actually taken in their comments about the ferrets, but I have done that every opportunity I've had, and I've gotten some positive feedback from the comments that I've made on their comments.
Also.
So yeah, so that's good, right? I mean, maybe the
I think you're gonna see some ferrets at PulseCon too.
I hope so.
I do too. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I hope so. So we're gonna find out, right? Less than 2 weeks for that, and like I said, I'm expecting. I think six figures is safe, and 2 big ones. So possibly 3 if the claw shows up. Rocket City. This one's a ways away, but you got some time to plan, right? 19th and 20th of October, up in Huntsville. Now 2 days. Now 2 days. Cool, huh? Wow, $10 entry for VIP. That's interesting. That's very interesting. And then a regular $5. Am I reading that right?
Yep.
So it's $10 if you want the extra hour, but then if you just general admission from 10 to 5 is only $5. That's pretty good, right? Sunday 10 to 4 is another $5, which is pretty good. Kids 12 and under are free. I got one of those still.
I keep trying to tell them I'm 12 and under, but they don't listen.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm gonna tell them I identify as 10 and under.
I haven't done this. I haven't been to this show. I'm kind of in that weird. I'm kind of in that weird window where Huntsville's a drive. But hey, you never know. October's a long ways away. Maybe, right? Maybe.
It's pretty good.
I would think so, right?
It's kind of like the Gasson one.
50 plus vendors. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, anyways, mark your calendars, right? October 19th through the 20th.
Speaking of Gasson Collector Con.
And John is ready to do another one, February 8th, 2025. So he's doing the same type of thing, 9 a.m. VIP, which is cool, right? We should get that for free, matter of fact. But
we are VIP.
I've never been a very important person, so
we are the local celebrities. And in Guadalajara. I mean, we're big in Guadalajara.
In Canada.
So I mean, seems as though we should get the free VIP, right? Doesn't that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
But
Wolf. Where's Jonathan Wolf on here watching?
I don't know. It's a holiday weekend. I'm not sure anybody's on here watching.
Probably not.
I don't see any comments. Am I missing?
No comments. None. Zero. It's probably Corey.
Yeah.
No one talks when Corey's on here.
I know it.
And the end of September, the very last weekend, is Joe Lanta. And I don't have any idea.
I had that one, but I messed it up.
They're not doing VIP stuff or anything like that this year, I don't think.
Oh, they usually do it early access.
Early bird.
Let me see. I'm going to look.
Yeah, they have Friday night. VIP
yes,
on
Friday night. Right.
And then they have the first hour on Saturday morning, too, I think.
But last year,
The early bird.
we got here an hour early. Wasn't even VIPs.
September 27th, 28th, and 29th, and it has been moved. It is the Gas South Convention Center, 6400 Sugarloaf Parkway in Duluth, Georgia. So, and let me see tickets. Let's see tickets. No, blah 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 blah. Yeah. VIP 3-day pass. Well, that's a lot of money. Available for purchase as an online pre-sale, $50. Or on-site check-in on Friday, $60. And you will get Friday preview night, early admission on both Saturday and Sunday, and access to all VIP events. Which... Saturday and Sunday combo tickets, $25 pre-sale. Saturday sales, $30. Friday preview night.
Are they having anybody special?
No. Honestly, no. There aren't a lot of guests at all this year. There really aren't. And I have to be honest with you, their website kind of sucks. But anyways. Pre-sale for just that, for this 3 hours on Friday night, which is 3 hours, 5 to 8 Friday night preview, $30 pre-sale, $35 if you check in that day, and then general admission. Wow. $25. $25 a head.
Went up $5 from last year.
$25 a head. So
that's for the new venue, most likely.
Yeah, and that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. Oh, wow. Everybody's got to make their own decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's for us, anyways. That's a $75 day without counting anything else. So we're gonna find out, right? At this point in time, I have to be perfectly honest with you. It may sound completely ridiculous to some of you. Some of you are going to understand exactly what I say. 1 month is one heck of a long time at this point in time. So I am planning on going, right? But I'm going to find out, right?
Yeah, and they're going to have a whole bunch of YouTubers there this year.
You know, I have to tell you, I saw that was their celebrity guest list, was a bunch of influencers, and it's like, who cares? We're not on that list. I don't care.
I'm the influencer
I care about. No, I don't care. No, it's very strange. It's like, and we already had, considering the amount of complaints there were about those guys and their behavior. The last 2 times I've been there, it seems strange to make them somehow headliners or like that's going to attract people to your show. Maybe that was their solution: is treat them like artists, give them a booth over in the corner so they're not getting in everybody else's way. Maybe that's the tactic. Right here, Mr. Big Shot, go sit over here instead of walking in front of people and, just that one little short guy with his whole entourage of sycophants wandering around in there, right in the way. It's just like, maybe that's their plan. Make him go sit in the corner and think he's important while the rest of us enjoy the show.
Well, he's still going to be wandering around, probably.
I don't know. Very strange. Valaverse is there. Beast Kingdom, right? But that's really, they don't have, there's not a lot of artists there. There's not a lot of.
I'm not seeing many artists at all.
No. Feature guests. Shartimus Prime. I guess a lot of people really like that guy. Whatever.
He's all right. I'm not going to bash him.
Michael Charles Hill, writer, producer, Transformers G1, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. John Anderson, who is a good dude cosplayer. Ryan Bonavia, that's the guy that was being a real pain in the ass. Sorry, excuse my French. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Marshall went to bed, right?
Yeah,
all I got to worry about is Corey. I apologize, Corey, for using language that you're not used to hearing.
I'm used to hearing much, much worse.
Our Carson Metaxas, he's the one that did all those books, 3D Joes and all that stuff, which is really kind of cool. Randall Bishop, artist and creator, but he doesn't have anything to do with Joe stuff. My 2D Heroes, which is another something. Christopher George, Sky Serpent, original scratch build. Not a lot going on there, but you know what? That is, from my limited experience, this is definitely a vendor show where you go and you try to find things, right? This isn't like Joe Fest where, you're looking for, the artists and Larry Hama and whoever, Josh Blaylock or whoever else you're looking for, right? Ron
That's what I go to all of them for, is just for the toys, because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I could really care less about anybody else being there.
Yeah. So, it works out good. But
did y'all hear? Did y'all hear at the last con? I got a headless horseman.
Yeah. Right. So, cool, right? And we'll remind you again before too long, no doubt. But now, what do we want to talk about now? Anybody got anything they want to show off?
I got a couple of things, but that's all I got.
Go to bed.
That's going to be on the back of our Toy Mart t-shirts.
You got to put the address, so the YouTube channel or whatever the heck it is at the bottom, because if no one watches it, no one will have any idea what that's all about.
Yeah.
State people start wearing
eyes in a bed sleeping.
Go ahead, Corey.
Need to get Snake Eyes in a bed sleeping. Have it good night, Emmett.
I chose that one because he's pointing.
He's pointing.
He's like,
go to bed, Emmett. That's right.
Good night, Emmett.
Good night, Emmett. He'll watch this week. He'll think that's funny.
And yes, they will sell, because I'll rock one of them.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, just if you don't watch it, you won't get it. Like I said, too many of them spread around. Either the state of Alabama will be knocking on my door going, we'd like to talk to you about Emmett. So she's right there. Take him.
Here's a shirt to go with it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, just bring him back when you want. Don't worry about it. Nice. What's this? Oh, let's do this. This could be a healthy conversation. What do we got? How many days left? 8 days? 8 days.
6 hours. It's probably less than that, because it's a couple hours ago I took this.
And so this is 15,378, right?
Yep. 18,000 will be fully funded.
Yeah, for Baroness, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tiers unlocked.
yeah, I think they'll get there. Um,
I think it will too. But I'm shocked that it's not already there. With
My
the
opinion,
Baron
if they put
being
the
that last
patches on
tier.
the end,
If they would have done patches for all 3 tiers, it would have done funded. All the
the
way.
last tier would have been the patches. That's what would have sold it. Everybody would have done everything to get them patches.
Yeah. So they had 3 patches. They should have just done 1 patch per tier, and that would have sold it right there.
And I would have never bought it.
I really like the fly swatter one up in the top right.
these are just so weird. I mean, seriously, these are just so weird. I don't.
And they're so weird, I almost didn't even put them on the show.
Now, you guys have probably heard or seen some of the comments or whatever that Hasbro went cheap and blah 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 blah. That's why we're getting patches, not another figure.
Well, they didn't go cheap.
I don't think it had. I think you're right, Shane. I don't think this had anything to do with going cheap. I
don't. I think
don't
they
know what
honestly
this
thought
was.
people was going to want these.
You know what? I think that's right. I really do think that this was a massive misunderstanding of their customer base.
I do.
I really do. I don't think this had anything to do with them penny pinching at all. I think you're absolutely right, Shane. I think they genuinely thought that people were going to go gaga over this idea.
I think my theory is they thought this was going to be a great thing, and then when it got close to the time to do it, they started getting like, I don't know or not, so let's put these first. That way, if they want the figures after, they're going to have to buy it. I mean, that's just my theory on that. I don't know. It's just,
It is a real flop. I have to tell you, this one is a real flop.
Yeah, people was not happy about it.
Another loadout of missiles and bombs. I get it. I get it. There's not a lot of support figures to make with this. But another loadout would have been cool, right?
They could have done a loadout, just a little pull behind with a missile on it and a ground crew guy.
Well,
and that would have been perfect for a tier.
Well, how about this? I mean, seriously, how about this? How about a different set of decals or a different decal and a generic Cobra pilot instead of, you get shoot. Now I'm drawing a blank because I don't.
Wild Weasel.
Wild Weasel. Thank you. You get Wild Weasel with the plane, of course, but why not a generic pilot decal and a generic pilot? Not patches.
I mean, I would have been happy. I'd have been happy with a parachute with a big Cobra emblem on it over this.
This is just such a misfire. This really is a really bad misfire.
Well,
really
with a Dragonfly, you had 4 figures, so you could have, if you got 2 Dragonflies, you could have one set of figures in one set in the other. If they'd done 4 figures for this, you could have done the same thing. Like you said, had another pilot, and then
right, because Glenda is a pilot at least.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, this is such a this one was a massive misfire. But we got the gunner, right? The gunner is backed, which a lot of people, their reaction to this particular figure has been very odd. But I like it. What's the matter with it? I mean,
I don't see anything wrong with it myself.
I mean, it's airborne with a different head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's G.I. Joe. Let's not pretend anything different. There was just a handful of figures that were repainted, and remade over and over and over again. And they're generic Cobras, right? We don't need unique. Every individual Cobra does not need to be unique. I mean, at least we got a different head. You got the Caucasian and the oh, I don't know, darker complected, I guess is not. I don't know whatever. You know, that's cool, right? I mean, generic weapons. So what? It's a cool figure.
Yeah.
He's
That's
gunny.
wild. That's Wild Bill's legs on that.
Yeah,
Got the 2 holsters on each side.
yeah. So there you go. But that, like I said, that's GI Joe. That's what it's always been, right? I mean, that's nothing new under the sun there.
Most of your Navy aviators, they usually only come with a pistol. I mean, in the cockpit with them. That's it. So you get more stuff than just you normally would. I mean,
yeah.
I'm wondering how this head and neck is going to work.
I don't know about that. That's a really good question. I don't know.
Because
probably the same way on Big Ben.
Hey, Timothy.
You're going to have to replace the whole neck. So,
yes.
The head's probably on a ball joint on the neck, and then the neck's also on a ball joint. Sort of like if you take like the Baroness from the coil, you can pop her neck out, and it's got a peg in there. You can pop it out and put it back on.
Huh, cool.
Big Ben's that way too, where you can change his head out for the gas mask version.
Okay, so 14,000, which is a 5,000 jump. Was that normal? Refresh my memory. Was that normal?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
For a figure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree, Tim. Ground crew would have been great. At least one missile loader.
Right, because unless they're going to pull a HISS support team 3-pack.
I bet so.
Which
I bet we get the same thing with the Dragonfly also.
Yeah, probably a 3-pack of ground crew, which and that's okay, right?
Yep. I like to support stuff like that. It adds to your if you have an imagination, it adds to that. You got the.
If they would have had something like that, and this right here without them patches, this thing already been funded.
Oh yeah.
Boy, I think that's what I was going to ask you guys next. I think there's a bunch of stuff going on as to why this has not done as well as the HISS tank, not even close, as a matter of fact, and the Dragonfly. One is definitely the economy. I mean, like I said it before, I'll say it again. We hit about 100 days ago at this point in time that we turned a corner. We went around a corner, and I'm not sure people realized it until it was too late, but I can tell you my personal economy tells me that's very true. Things went very strange very quickly. So I think the economy is definitely a factor here. But I have to tell you, that letter, that email that Hasbro sent out about the same time, give or take, that this campaign started, telling us that our Dragonflies were delayed. I think that was a pretty, I don't think it was as big as the economy, but I think it was a pretty big wet blanket on this campaign that, hey, we've done this for you guys. Well, this will be the 4th one, counting the Sky Striker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them have been late. So you already got $300 floating out in limbo with us already. So how about you give us another $3.25 that'll sit in limbo, and you don't even have the one from last year yet. I think that's a factor, guys. I really do. I don't think this is going to sound kind of crappy, but I have to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think Hasbro should have. If they were smart, they wouldn't have sent that letter out until this campaign was over.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I know that probably sounds a little shady to some of you, but from a business standpoint, that was not a good business decision.
Well, we went from early summer to late, early winter on getting the Dragonfly, so that's a big.
I thought it went from summer, fall to winter.
No, it went straight from early summer to early December. December 1st is what the email said. I've got it. Let me just find it real quick, and I can tell you exactly what it
For some reason, I thought there was 3 delays in it for some reason. I don't know why.
I mean, it's just, I'm guessing, but I have to tell you, and I know some of you would probably say that wouldn't be right, but I'm telling you, from a business standpoint,
It's not right.
Sending that email out the way they did, the timing on that, as far as this HasLab goes, it was terrible timing. It was just not a wise business decision at all. We wouldn't have known the difference. Right? It's not like we're all sitting here going, oh, I'm getting my Dragonfly in September. No one believed for a second it was going to be in September. We were all thinking October, November. They could have held off for that letter. I really do think that is it's a factor in this.
I agree.
It's not a failure, don't get me wrong, but it's not a smashing success like the other two have been, that's for sure. I still think the economy is the number one, but
I do this.
For sure.
This I don't know. It just wasn't good business sense to go, hey, the last one you did is going to be very late. Now give us another chance. It's just like, it's not. See, and I think that was wise, Timothy. I mean, yeah, I think that was wise. I have to be honest with you. I was hoping for October.
Now, is this just not weird? I cannot get that email to show.
And I know some of the reports the other day where everybody got all wound up over, the Dragonflies are showing up in the U.S. That doesn't mean nothing. Those things are sitting in containers somewhere.
Pre-Thanksgiving.
I'm telling you, they wait until December. So
I seen a story that some of them are already starting to show up over here. Small quantity.
It's probably just a story.
What's that now? Say that again. Or don't, one or the other.
He said that he heard a rumor that they were already starting to show up.
I've heard some of them are showing up over here.
No. Yeah.
But not people wasn't getting them. They was just showing up on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, like I said, they're showing up in containers
in small quantities. They may be. They'll hold them and release all of them at one time.
Oh, that's exactly what they're going to do. John's right.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. They're showing up in containers on the West Coast.
They're going to hold them and take that hit on that shipping cost in December, where it'll bill out in January, so it'll go next year. So make the numbers look good this year. That's what they're doing. They'll let them sit there for 4 months waiting, just for that reason.
Look at this. I'm trying to find that last email from Hasbro Pulse, and they're sending me saying, "Hi there, we haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been?"
Email.
It's like,
same email.
I've been right here. That is very strange. Because
I can't find it either.
Let me see.
It was sent on July 2nd.
This is very odd. Hey, can they retract an email? Because I'm telling you, mine's not here either. That is really weird. Can you retract an email like that? Come on, tech. We got to have a techie or two listening.
No, right? They can't.
Well, where the heck did it go?
I just got mine to pull up.
Oh, mine's gone.
It says, to ensure we're getting the best product possible, the original anticipation delivery timeline of summer 2024 has been revised. The new estimated delivery time frame for your G.I. Joe Assault Copter Dragonfly XH1 is December 2024.
And they said that in August, right?
Yeah. No, that was July 2nd. That was July 2nd they sent that.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's an interesting comment. See, I didn't know you could or not. Apparently they didn't. Mine just disappeared. About the Ghost. Now the Ghost was last year too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That sucker was 500. That was like $5, wasn't it?
I think it was right before the G.I. Joe HasLab, was it not?
For the
I
Dragonfly.
think so.
Yeah, right before the Dragonfly.
And that was like $500, right? I mean, Landon, yeah. So, and they've said nothing to you guys about
Are
that.
you talking about the Engine of Vengeance?
$585 in shipping.
Talking about the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, big
It
ship.
was $499.99.
And $585 with shipping, right?
Wow.
$585. That's just sitting in limbo, and you've heard nothing.
It had 21,768 backers. It says estimated shipping fall 2024. That's what it's got on the website.
Mm.
But it don't say when it went up for sale, or I don't see where it's going.
Wow.
Crazy,
Wow.
But I think it was before
Now,
the Dragonfly.
Is Emily in charge of Star Wars marketing too? Because that sounds
It sounds awful
I don't
like
think
it,
so.
does it not?
yeah.
They
This
did
is
the Star Wars people dirty, man.
whew.
They may have still been in such shock that it actually funded.
yeah.
Because, I mean, let's face it, they've had several not fun.
Yeah, but not the 3 3/4 inch stuff. They
Yeah,
all
No,
even
that
the
is
3
true.
3/4, but
Black
the
series didn't do good.
the Black series.
lightsabers and stuff like that, they just
It's like right opposite from G.I. Joe. The Sky Striker only got 2 of the tiers, it barely funded, but the classified goes crazy. So
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Right. And it's big. I remember that much. That sucker was big.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The 3 3/4 inch HasLab Star Wars stuff that they've done has been nice. But I'm glad I'm not in the Star Wars anymore.
Oh, I know, right? I know. Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, that's for sure. Because if you're a diehard Star Wars collector, like I used to be, oy.
Oh, that Cantina thing, that was very tempting.
Well, Tanika twins finally after 40 years. Yeah, wow.
And to have the whole, if you got the bonus, you had basically the whole Cantina.
I talked to a guy the other day that actually funded the Cantina, the deluxe edition of it.
Mm-hmm.
He said he could have absolutely done without the Tatanka twins.
Really?
Yep.
But why would you have a Cantina not have all the aliens in it?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's why I would want it, so I could put all the aliens in it.
He told me that he wished they would have done different aliens than what the ones they've done, because the ones they did do, they've already got. And they're just good enough to go in that.
Yeah.
Like another Greedo. Why would you need another Greedo? You already got a Greedo that looks just like it.
I mean, come on, you can't.
Yeah.
They're like potato chips, you can't shoot too many Rhodians.
The thing about it is they're putting them on the vintage collection card backs. That's why they're thinking people's going to buy them to have them on those. Eventually, all these figures will end up being on a vintage collection card back.
Right.
Yep. Interesting.
Well, I know this much. I am actually very, very excited to get my Dragonfly. This is going to sound terrible, but I'll tell you the honest truth, and it's not. I'd love to be able to sit here and tell you that it was, more of a option than it actually was, but I have not and will not be backing the Dragonfly, the Rattler. I just don't. I don't have that kind of money to be hanging out in limbo for another year and a half. I just don't. Yeah. See, Timothy gets it. Can't pop just one. That's right.
Oh man.
Yep. That's right. It's
And
stupid.
here's
The reason I didn't back
So I don't have a dog in this fight, so to speak. I will take my chances on getting one later. That's just the way it is. Can't have everything, but it's been interesting to watch this because
Yeah.
um,
And this is the one that hasn't unlocked yet that they banked on.
and I have to tell you, I really wonder. We went through this last year with the Dragonfly, and almost immediately, and you guys will back me up on that. I mean, we heard for months and months and months that the next HasLab is going to be the Dragonfly, and Hasbro said, "No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not." Right? And guess what? It was the Dragonfly.
Mm-hmm.
So, in 2023, the worst kept secret in toys was the Dragonfly.
Yep.
In September of 2023, everybody started saying the next HasLab is the Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro said, no, until the worst kept toy secret of 2024 was again the HasLab.
Yep.
How is it? Is this a marketing ploy to keep interest up on Hasbro's part, or did they just have absolutely no design security whatsoever that this stuff leaks the way it does? Because
or is it that they hear what the fans are wanting actually and jump on that bandwagon?
Well, fish them out, right? What?
I think they're letting it slip out just to see the reactions they get to find out if it's going to be successful or not. That's what I think.
Might do it.
I mean, every HasLab is that way. You know, you pretty much know what's coming before it's there.
So you're thinking it's an unofficial poll, right?
Yeah. That's
So
what I
if
think.
everybody had said no freaking way, that's going to suck or whatever, something else would have been leaked in a month or 6 weeks, right?
Yep. That's what I think.
Because we started hearing rumors in January, so that would have,
Yeah.
by the mid-February, the end of February, if they were getting a lot of negative feedback, they said, well, maybe we'll, try it. They probably had a backup. Whatever the backup is, will probably be what it'll be for next year. They've probably got several planned out already, I bet.
Well, if you listen to what their claims are, that they're, 12 or 14 months in the design phase for all of these different projects, before they even tell us what they're thinking about making, which I have to be honest with you, I don't believe. I don't
either, man, because if they're that far into the design phase, why is it still taking them this long to get it perfect?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Jeez.
Probing.
A Sky Striker?
I do. Why not?
Yeah, I do too.
They've done a Rattler. Everybody said they'll never do a Rattler.
Now
They'll never do a Rattler. They'll never
now
do a Rattler.
they're claiming they're doing a G.I. Joe base now, is the rumor.
That was that weird cryptic comment that they made about that poster, right? That the only other thing in that poster was what?
The headquarters.
Yes, and we started speculating at that point in time of two HasLabs a year. But I think if they were thinking about doing that, I think the pace of this one may have them rethinking that.
I totally agree, Timothy.
But they said it. They said it plain as day that the HasLabs were going to be limited to aircraft. And
they also created a HIS tank.
I thought they said it would be limited to larger vehicles.
They said
I didn't
aircraft.
think it was necessarily aircraft.
Yeah, they said aircraft, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because that's what they said. They said
first
that
HasLab was a tank.
Well, right, and they said that during the after it was all said and done, and they were just talking about HasLabs in general. I heard the interview, and they said they were going to reserve HasLabs for bigger items and like aircraft.
Yeah.
So you guys can probably want to drag me out back and shoot me, but to tell you the truth, I don't want. I don't want a Sky Striker. If we get a Joe aircraft next year, this is going to sound terrible, but I'd really rather have a Tomahawk than a Sky Striker. That's just me. Sky Striker was never my thing, anyways.
You got to have a jet to fight a jet. We had a helicopter tank buster to fight the tank.
Yeah. See, my thing about the Tomahawk is you're talking about a space killer because those blades.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a space killer.
Yeah.
And originally, when the HISS tank was out during San Diego Comic-Con that year while the HISS tank was up for pre-order, they said they wouldn't do anything like a Sky Striker or any kind of vehicle like that because the wingspan and all it would take up too much space and they didn't think people would buy it. Yeah. But the HISS funded so quick and they had so much feedback that what do you know? The next thing was a Dragonfly.
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm looking at the Tomahawk. One of my Tomahawks is sitting here on my flag, and there's a Sky Striker there, and there's a Dragonfly right next to it. As far as the rotors, they're not any wider than the Dragonfly, and they're not as wide as the wings extended on this Sky Striker. So
no, they're not.
And it's the Tomahawk isn't anywhere near as long as the Sky Striker is either.
Mm-mm.
So the Sky Striker would actually suck up more space than the Tomahawk.
The blades on the Tomahawk's not wider than the Sky Striker?
It's not, no, by about 2 inches. They're at least 2 inches narrower than the Sky Striker. And it's
plus we know with the Rattler, they didn't go to scale with it.
No.
So,
and it's got fold-up wings.
And it's got fold-up wings.
And that's a cool feature.
It is a really cool feature.
But the Sky Striker's wings fold back, so it's they kind of that's kind of built into the original Sky Striker anyway. Boy, I don't know. Would you guys? Let's fish this. Let's say Hasbro says, okay, we're really gonna focus on vehicles now, right? Because I do think they're going to have to do this sooner or later, or they're just going to have to stop making up characters. Let's say Hasbro says, okay, you're going to get 2 HasLabs a year. One of them is air-based, one of them is land-based. Would you support that?
No.
So you're happy with 1 HasLab a year?
Yep.
Not unless my finances drastically change to the good. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I think
right now, no. If everything takes a big jump in the economy, possibly, but not 100% sure.
I think I'm in 100% agreement with John that we are right on that line if we haven't already crossed it, where Hasbro is going to kill the golden goose. And let's face it, now, G.I. Joe is the golden goose.
Yep.
My guess has been since that weird comment about the possible headquarters, I was thinking that somehow, some way, Hasbro is going to try to do that modular. Like that hallway, that Star Wars hallway set, where you could just, but you get the idea. It's not exactly the same. Don't get me. They're not going to build the same piece over and over and over again and make it stackable. But I think somehow, some way, I think they were thinking about doing like modularity with that headquarters. You buy a certain piece, or a certain something comes with a certain piece, or maybe they had something along the lines of a flag point scheme going. Cooking in the background.
Maybe it's like the cantina. You get the main part of the place, or if you go the deluxe route, then you can get the add-ons.
Right, and that's what I mean by modularity. That you're gonna kind of pick and choose.
Could you imagine how much a daggum headquarters is going to cost?
$5 billion.
Imagine how much space it's going to take.
But it's just plastic, though, and it's not that many parts, really, when you think about it.
It is true. There's not a lot. I mean, if they just enlarged the original, there's not a lot going on there.
Mm. But what's the one thing it would be missing if they did do a headquarters? You done got the Vamp, you done got the Dragonfly. They got to have a Mobat to finish it off.
Well,
because there's a spot for the Mobat in there.
I have to ask the question though. I mean, would they make the Mobat or would they make the Mauler? If they're going to do a Joe tank, I hate to say this, but I would almost bet if they make a Mobat, it's not going to look anything like the original Mobat.
Oh no. I don't think so either.
No, I mean it would look a whole lot more like a Mauler. It would look like an M1A1 Abrams.
You may actually be able to put the figure all the way down in there and close a hatch on it.
Now that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesomely cool.
And it would definitely be able to hold more troops, at least 3.
You could probably take the top off and put a couple more troops inside of it or something like that.
Maybe, right? Boy, I don't know.
The Mobat would be a little smaller than the Mauler if they did it. So that's why I'm thinking they'd probably do the Mobat.
Mm-hmm.
The Mauler may be something they save for later, or they could do a Grizzly and make it a HasLab because the Grizzly tank's this big.
Oh yeah, that sucker was huge. I don't know. I don't know. It's of course, it's all speculation, but I think John's right. I think Hasbro is either on the verge of or already has well on the way to killing this golden goose by just overwhelming us.
If they did do the Jetto headquarters, then they got to have a Cobra base too.
Terradrome and classified together. I don't see that one happening. That'd be a $2,000 toy.
Yeah, they might take out the sections, get to the door of the house, man.
It'd be bigger than my toy room altogether.
Yeah.
Now I tell you, if they got into the a couple of boats, I could see them doing a battle platform because there's not much to it, and it wouldn't be that big. No, it's not as big as a headquarters.
See, one of the things that I bring up about the HasLab being twice a year. Right, exactly.
Partnership with Kia.
Exactly, that's right. Here's the thing. I think Hasbro is going to be desperate to keep the excitement going. And let's face it, a HasLab every 12 months isn't going to do it for them. I think it may not be a HasLab. I think maybe that's what they're doing with this headquarters. There's going to be something else. There's going to be something big twice a year to keep interest going.
Talking about the headquarters, they could easily do a section at a time and sell it retail.
They could. And
have a certain figure come with it. From maybe even a couple of OG-13 guys that were missing.
Yep.
I think that might be in a fan channel exclusive, but I don't never see it at retail.
Well, I mean, I'm still sticking with my prediction that they're going direct to consumer.
Yeah, anyway. It's not going to be. Yeah. Retail is not going to be what you think retail here soon.
Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store.
Amazon, retail. Big Bad Toy Store, places like that. That's going to be
fan channel stuff,
the future of retail.
Yeah, as far as
fan channel stuff now.
Yeah. Brick and mortar on the shelf at Walmart, no.
I think we're, like Dave said, we all in agreement. It's coming to that.
It is.
Well, look at Marvel Legends. The Build-A-Figure waves. I have not seen a single Build-A-Figure wave at any Walmart lately, or not even at Target.
No.
All they got some of the movie figures and older Build-A-Figures, but they don't have any that's come out this year.
The Strange Tales is only going to be fan channel exclusive.
That's the other thing that came out of that discussion with the McFarlane group the other day, that there will be no more Target exclusive Build-A-Figure waves. That's it. They're done. Those will not happen again. So on what John was just talking with Marvel Legends, I think that's kind of like the retailers are going, I think we're about done with that. And to be fair, maybe Hasbro is going, maybe I think we're done with that too. 6-1
exclusives to like Walmart and stuff is a joke anyway.
It is,
because how many have any of us seen any Night Force Walmart exclusive figures in store?
Oh, never.
I've never seen one in
Never.
store.
Okay, there
Not
you go.
one. No, not one. Never.
The last few Marvel
It's a
Legends that they've got exclusives to, I've never seen in the stores.
No.
It's,
Nope,
it's a
never.
joke.
Not one.
It's exclusive to their own line only.
Yep.
Exactly. Right.
And they should make that noted when they say it's an exclusive.
Yep. Yep.
But it's
Because it's exactly that's their version of a fan channel, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not fan channel, but you know what I'm talking about. Fan retailer or whatever they call it. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but no, because you're right. That's a prime example. Exactly, and I mean precisely. Zero times have I seen a Night Force classified figure at any Walmart.
I've seen people showing the Ram Cycle with Shockwave, where they've been getting it on clearance at Walmart. I can't believe it.
That's probably the ones that were
either.
returned, and they sent it to the store on.
Well, see, right.
But I don't. Does Walmart even?
Because there were a few others. I think somebody found a Shooter and one other of the Night Force, like Big Ben. I think they found them on clearance at Walmart, and I think that's what happened when they get a return, and they just send them to the store for clearance.
Right. Because somebody just walked up to the customer service with what they had been shipped to home and whatever.
No, I've never seen one landing.
No.
Yeah, neither.
Nope.
So it is an online exclusive only, and that's what it should be billed as instead of a store exclusive.
But it's an interesting conversation to have because I have to tell you, I think if it's done right, that it really could be a really good thing for us as collectors to just go direct to consumer online. Does it kind of kill the hunt? Yeah, but most of us still do OG stuff, and we go to shows, and you got flea market. You can still hunt all you want. But let's face it, guys. We've gone through this with Joe's specific. I'll just stick with Joe's because Joe seemed to be the guilty party here, literally. We've seen this over and over and over again. Everything goes up for pre-order. All the serious collectors buy it on pre-order, and then when it finally shows up, what does show up on store pegs sits there. And it sits there for months and months and months because everybody that was going to buy it already bought it.
Well, I
And
don't
how
know,
did they buy
man.
it? Direct to consumer.
I was in a Walmart just the other day, and they had Doc and Jinx and all those guys, and went back the other day, and they was all gone.
Yeah, because they're not getting anywhere near the numbers that you would expect.
But they're getting them when they're starting to hit, though.
Yeah,
You remember Tomax, Zoran and Dusty? It was 5 months after those started hitting before Walmart got them. And I think that's all the ones that end up always is all the ones from Walmart.
Yes, exactly.
They were way too late. People, after about 2 months, they said, might as well get it online. Walmart's not ever going to get them. And then when they finally got them, everybody had them by then.
Right.
I don't know what happened with that.
It's all about distribution, man.
Yeah. Jinx, Doc, those figures are all still on Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the economic side of this is coming in, where everything's taking a pretty big hit.
Yep.
What I'm seeing selling on store shelves is being scoffed up by the scalpers because it's something that they are either trying to make rare or they just assume it's going to be rare. And we've talked about this so many times, Timothy. The subscription that Mattel used to do at Matty Collector with the DC Universe line was absolutely magnificent. It was awesome. And there was, let's face it, there were one or two clunkers from whoever's perspective, right? Out of that 12 months, there was 13 figures a year that you were guaranteed to get with your subscription. You got one a month plus the bonus one. That was a clunker here and there that, I don't like this or I don't like that. It was more character than it was anything else because, there was a lot of Green Lantern stuff in those too.
But the good thing was you didn't have to subscribe. You could wait until they released them, and then you could order them. The people that subscribed were guaranteed to get them.
That's right.
And they got a bonus to subscribe. They get a subscription figure.
Right.
And they got early access to get more when they went up for order. I think they had 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, then it was
24 hours. Yep.
So you're telling me.
And then everybody else could have it. They give you a whole day.
Right.
So if you work or whatever, you still had time to get on there and get what you wanted.
You're telling me that the people that bought their membership was guaranteed something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that subscribed, yeah.
Yep.
See, if Hasbro would do that, they get $50 out of me every year too. If I was guaranteed
it's not a membership; it's a subscription.
There was a subscription. Yeah.
But when you subscribe, it's like being a member.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a membership, and you're guaranteed that figure.
Yeah, we got our little white box every month.
Yeah.
Hey, Hasbro, you're taking notes?
Well, how many years ago was this now, John? This was 15, 16, 17 years ago that this happened.
And they would on the Masters Universe Classics, they would tell you exactly what you were going, because you got one big figure every 3 months, you got a quarterly figure. They ended up you ended up getting like, I don't know, 20 figures a year from them. But you knew how much it was going to be. They even told you the total amount.
Yep.
And then at one point, they even let you make it in installments where you paid, and they let you save it up, and like you could wait and have them ship them like every 3 months, ship them together to save you on shipping too.
Yep. Wow. It was awesome.
So they had it.
It was awesome. But somehow, some way, I don't know what happened. It was early, let's face it, relatively speaking, it was early on in the internet. Right, forums and stuff. MaddieCollector.com is where everything happened. All of that was revolved around MaddieCollector.com. Well, all of a sudden, all of us that were on Maddie Collector, we started to slowly but surely be introduced to the troll, right?
Yeah.
And let's face it, they destroyed MaddieCollector.com. They just flat out destroyed it. And somehow, some way, Mattel decided that, exactly. Somehow, some way, Mattel tied the two together. Like, so Maddie Collector was just rotten to the core and it's going to go away now. And then everything else went away with it. And it's just like, no, that was your mistake. You didn't need the forums. You didn't need them. You needed to keep up with the subscription service. I swear to you, that line would probably still be going today if they had stuck with it. They would have gotten the license again, and McFarlane never would have gotten it.
But I'll tell you, there were people that asked Hasbro to do the same thing back then. I don't know if you remember, Dave, but Hasbro put out a statement that they would not do a subscription service like that because they deal in large quantities. And Maddie Collector was smaller quantities, and it wasn't worth Hasbro fooling with it.
Yes,
Hasbro's all about volume.
But you're 100% right, and I remember it well because
where's my ferret at?
In those discussions that were happening back then, I remember it, and I will remember it until the day I don't hang around on this place anymore. Is they made the statement to. It may have been Toy Fair magazine, I swear, or Wizard, or one or the other.
Yep.
Hasbro made the statement that the customer, us, the collector, is not our customer. The retailer is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was about 50 or 60,000 collective middle fingers that went up all at the exact same time when everybody read that, because Hasbro basically said, you are not our customer. We exist to make Walmart and Target and Toys R Us happy, not you. Right? I'm telling you, there was a massive shift at about that same time in attitude towards Hasbro. Because it's just like I would almost bet whoever that was got fired almost instantly after that went to print. Because And you want the honest truth, they still have, whether they say what they want, but they still have that attitude about them. They are there to do business with the big retailers. I think they're starting to realize that the big retailers are no longer their friend, couldn't care less about their product. So now they're going to try to figure out how to go to direct to consumer. It's easy if you do it right.
If they go direct to consumer, they better get rid of that attitude.
Oh, I can tell you what, at this point in time, Corey, the biggest way they could prove they got rid of that attitude is fix that damn app, because that app is a mess.
It's still
Ever
terrible.
since that update, that thing is a mess.
Nancy said she can't handle all the foul language. She's leaving.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna.
I mean, if Hasbro would put out something like they got
I'm looking at something, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't.
We need a little
So you
got beep, beep.
pays your free shipping on stuff like they do now, and you're guaranteed a shot at the exclusives and cons. I'd pay them every year.
Timothy, didn't you hear Nancy? You need to pay attention, man.
I think you're giving the app more credit than I would.
I have to tell you, between the delay on the Dragonfly and this once a man mess, and I'm telling you guys, I am 100% convinced that somebody else besides the regular Hasbro channels are handling the billing and the processing for those once a mans. I don't know if it's the crew that was doing San Diego or what the heck is going on, but it's been very strange. They got to get this cleaned up, because there's an awful lot of ill will towards Hasbro right now, because they're not killing it. They're dropping. I mean, they're just screwing it all up. And I don't know. The 13th makes me nervous, because I'm not seeing any big updates coming for that app. If we have another big mess with pre-orders or something, it's not going to go well.
Terrible.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish them all well. Right? But we got to get that cleaned up.
The bunch out of San Diego was handling that in when the con comes up, the collector con. I think Hasbro will be slinging them once a man's out of the con coming up.
You know what? I really, for not only for the collector's sake, but actually for Hasbro's sake, I hope they wise up and make at this point in time, I'm not even sure how big a number it has to be, but I hope they make enough of those so that everybody gets a reasonable chance at getting them. Because let's face it, between San Diego and the mess that app made of everything, people really didn't get a fair opportunity to get.
No,
it wasn't even a fair shot at trying to get one. It just wasn't. It just wasn't.
And limit it to less than 5. I mean, limit like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Well, at this point in time, that would be more than reasonable, because they've come up and they've come up and they've come up, but the system was completely pooched and the bots got them all. I haven't checked eBay for the going rate on a once a man at this point, or even if they're selling. I guess that's an even more interesting question. Are they selling?
But the thing is, he is still up on the website, on the app, for sale. But he sold out, so that gives everybody hope that he will pop
Right,
up.
they didn't take it down like, I hate to say this, like the ferret.
They did the same thing with Chuckles, Dr. Mindbender, and Serpentor. They never took them off the site. They were still there, and then all of a sudden, Pulse come roaming around, they popped up. And they even popped up a couple times after that. So
right. But that you're right. See, that's the thing, Timothy. Let's face it, the hour, the hour that we get to order earlier, that was just we got to the S show an hour earlier than everybody else.
It's right in the middle of the day when everyone is working. I mean, it's stupid. It's dumb.
It really doesn't make Hey, John, you remember? Let's talk, back to Matty Collector. Those the show exclusives used to go up for pre-order. That was at 7:00 at night, wasn't it?
I can't remember. Yeah, because I think it was 6 our time. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, but I was.
It was in the afternoons. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. See, they got
and like
it.
I said, you had 24 hours before they made. If you had a subscription, you had 24 hours before it got offered to everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I don't remember Mindbender being the outrage that Serpentor was. But I do remember the outrage was Serpentor because I mean everybody was furious, and a lot of people started floating the idea: just calm down. They'll re-release Serpentor in the box. You're just not going to get the Air Chariot. Like that was some big consolation. It's just like you don't buy Serpentor without the Air Chariot. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry, you'll get a Serpentor. You're just not going to have the Chariot like I do. Or the attitudes were very strange. So Hasbro has definitely listened in the past. Yes, right. Yep. Back in those days, it was 7:00 my time. 7:00 at night, you could get on, and that's when all of that stuff went down. And it wasn't all that frequent, but it's still.
Yep.
They got it. They understood. So,
yeah, just on here right now, the cheapest I've seen on here is $69 with free shipping.
$69 with free shipping.
What are you talking about? The once a man?
I just saw one for $60 with $7 shipping and handling.
The sold on eBay is ranging from $55 to $70.
Yeah.
And I saw the box sell for $29.99 by itself, the empty box. For that lenticular cover, I'm assuming.
Somebody wanted to frame it or something. Right?
Yeah.
What was the retail on? I don't even remember what the retail was on it.
45
$39.99.
Yeah, they were $40, and after you paid your tax and everything else, which
so it's not really going for that much more then.
No, they're $43.
Not like the ferret.
Unlike the ferret. Right.
Unlike
the ferret. Every time I hear that word.
Why? Yeah, the once a man is going to pop back up. I'm pretty confident on that. But I have to be honest with you. The ferret. Look, once a man is a subline, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
The Cobra La is a subline. It's no different than the Python Patrol. It's no different than Night Force. It's or Tiger Force. It's a subline. The ferret is not a subline. It was such a prominent player. The ferrets was such a major. They were one of those vehicles that were really genuinely a character unto themselves, because I mean they were in the cartoon as much as the Stun, right?
If not more. Because you think about it, every time you saw the twins riding in a vehicle, it was on a ferret. The Dreadnoks rode on the ferrets. I mean, it was there all the time.
I just don't. What in the world?
I mean, they see. I think they're going to put them back up for pre-order. I think that's why they took them off the website right now. Because if you look, they still got the His tank listed on there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And I think during PulseCon they're gonna put them back up for pre-order and make another run of them, because surely to goodness they will.
You may not see them until after the first of the year,
right? And I'm good with that if I can get it for retail,
right? Which is what happened with Serpentor, if you remember right.
Mm-hmm. And I hope all them scalpers, them scalpers that's got them up on eBay right now and loses their shirt over them. To be honest with you.
See, that's the weird thing. When Hasbro made that statement, that our customers are the retailers.
Well, the scalpers are.
Your customers are the scalpers.
Yeah.
See the Vamp, the Vamp is still a pretty major sore spot with a lot of people because,
and those things are selling for $250, $300 now.
Yeah.
And if they put those back up for pre-order, there's going to be a lot of people mad because they paid that price for them.
Well,
yeah, but if
cheapest ferret I can find.
Stop feeding the
Is
scalpers.
119.
119.
On the
They
what?
got
The
a
Vamp
used one for 102. Ferret.
Yeah.
So
I could have got one for 95 from Toy FOMO, but I wasn't going to give him a nickel.
No, we got to stop. I wish we got to stop feeding the scalpers. We got to stop feeding this because we're our own worst enemy when it comes to this.
Yeah.
And it's like when John put that guy's username up there, it's like, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. It's predatory. And we got to stop. Just stop feeding the scalpers. Please stop. And this would go away. If they don't have a customer base, they'll stop buying everything.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I agree.
But we get nervous, we get anxious, we get into our own crap, and then we give them too damn much money. And see, I did it again. And the next thing you know, they have their own secondary market, and it's theft.
Cheapest Vamp I can find with shipping is $260.
Yeah. But to be fair, I got
standards on here for $129.
I have to tell you, to be fair, the Vamp and the Ferret are two different things.
Yeah.
The Vamp was up for months. On again, off again. If you really truly wanted to get a Vamp, you had more than plenty of opportunity. You had more than a fair share of opportunities to get a Vamp, right? Yep. The Ferret, not so much. That sucker sold out on day one, and then it stayed that way. And then there was that weird fluke weekend that, like I said, I managed to get two, and that's all I could get. But that was 3 days of hit and miss. And I still wasn't 100% sure I was actually going to get them. I just still didn't believe it when they showed up. Well,
I hope they do come back up.
Look, this is not, I mean, they're cool and all, but this is not, this was not a highly difficult toy to make, right? It's just not. The Ferret is just not. It's not that complicated a toy. The driver, other than the helmet, is just a Valkyrie.
Yep.
Right? It's the female buck that they've been using for Cobra stuff. There is absolutely no reason why the Ferret can't go back up for production. None. If they could make them for Tiger Force, they can make more Ferrets. Seriously, I mean,
I ain't seen no of them sitting on the shelves.
They were exclusives.
Oh, those suckers came and went. I mean, they disappeared quickly. I saw the one.
I had to go to Decatur to get one. I had to go to Decatur to get mine.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Mine cost me $8.
They say that it's one of the 3 lines that is making money for Hasbro. Play-Doh was one of them. I swear it was Peppa Pig, and G.I. Joe is making money for Hasbro.
I can see Play-Doh because it's inexpensive to make and it dries out, so it's kind of you have to replenish.
Yeah, no, they've said for a long time that all the toy money was actually in the preschool market, but G.I. Joe is making them money because I think because they own the license is the biggest reason. But we haven't seen, let's face it, guys, we haven't seen any product. We haven't seen Joe product in quite a long time. They're not exactly overwhelming us. I'm just afraid we're going to get swamped again this fall again, that we're just going to get buried.
End of the year Kill Fest.
Yep.
But you know what? I think the 13th will tell that story if they come out with another 6 and they drop another bunch of digital reveals. Digital reveals are really important. The name onlys, you've got months.
Mm-hmm.
Once the digital reveals show up, that they're in production. It might be another long fall. I'm still not caught up from last fall. Mole rats, Crimson Alley Vipers. I have never physically seen a Crimson Alley Viper. Never saw one.
Haven't either.
Nope.
Never saw one. I haven't seen them at the shows. Haven't seen them anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
I seen them all right down in Gadsden.
Well, the mole rats you can still get off the website.
I can get off Pulse. Yeah. Yep. Hey.
I tell you,
what's happening?
Just to shift gears. If you're a Batman fan, you need to pick one of these up for $8.88 at Walmart.
Emmett had one of those.
Yeah.
It is cool.
What's going on?
It is. I mean, it's actual about the size. If you watch a movie, it's about the size. It's got to flip down, so you can hold it.
Yep. Oh, it is cool.
Pulled it right back in.
Yep, it's very cool.
Good thing that's got a string on it, or jelly bean would have had it gone.
Yep.
I just don't mess with it too much because Emmett did buy one of those when they were still full priced. It broke in the first day.
What are they in full price? I never even saw them.
This stupid thing was like $30.
Really?
Yeah.
I never even saw it until the other day. That's the first time I'd even seen it.
Oh, geez, it was close to 2 years ago.
How much were they at Walmart on clearance, John?
Our Walmart's got little boxes. It says bargain bins. One's like $4.88, and then they got another one for $8.88, and it was in the $8.88 bin along with the Batman Beyond Batarangs. I should have took a picture of it. I didn't. I was on my lunch break and I was in a hurry, so I didn't get her. But
interesting.
But yeah, it's like they're doing bargain bins. Maybe I guess maybe that's their way of clearance, and since they never clearance off NECA stuff,
right?
Even though I've run across them on clearance. But anyway,
that's cool. No, Emmett had one of those a while ago, and he burned it up.
I'll tell you another cool. This is pretty cool. I like this the snake Tila. Or serpent sorceress Tila. But man, what a train she's got on the back here.
Look at that.
Sure. Now
I guess it's almost like a snake skin.
I was gonna say, is she shedding? What's that?
Yeah. But I'll tell you, this part, the tail end's taped in the box.
Mm-hmm.
When you pull the tape off, make sure you get that residue off of there, or it'll get dirty and get stuff stuck to it. I got that residue off right off the bat. But I think it's a really nice figure. I like it.
And we thought Adam West Batman cape was on.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
but so I suspect we got the we got the other sorceress Tila, and now this one. So I think the only one's left's the one with the lion's head.
Yeah,
she had the lion head on. So I figure it'll be coming next. And,
what's with the top of her thighs? It's something like they're like.
That's where they twist at.
Yeah, but I mean, it's almost like the midsection, the crotch piece for her wasn't big enough or something. It's like they look like ball joints without the socket.
They do kind of, don't they?
Yeah, it's almost like the hip joint isn't big enough for those legs.
Yeah, yeah, she got some pretty sturdy legs there.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
And black toenail polish.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
My opinion, Power Rangers is playing out. Not a lot of people watching it. Not a lot on TV anymore. So
here's the thing. There's something is going on with the Power Rangers license in general. It's almost like, if you look at Boom Studios, the comic publisher that has the publishing rights, they're kind of doing the same thing. They're trying to get out from under Power Rangers is kind of turned into one of those things where it's all of a sudden it's run its course with two generations of fans, and it's not picking up a third. Does that make sense? It's not like Pokemon. It's not like almost any other Japanese license. That it doesn't have a way. It doesn't have a way of rejuvenating itself. You know, you understand what I'm saying? They come up with different teams and they come up with different Zords, but it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird, same thing but different. See, and that's and Boom is in major financial trouble. And I think Hasbro saw the handwriting on the wall as far as the whole property goes. They know their sales have been in the dumper for a while, and they farmed it out to Playmates because Playmates desperately needs something. And just think it was good business. I hate to say this, but Power Rangers is a dying property, and it may pop back up in 15, 18 years when that second generation of collectors or fans get a certain age. But for right now,
if Turtles ever fizzles out, then Playmates is in trouble because that's the only thing really that keeps carrying them.
Here's the hard thing. This happened this week too. That IDW laid off. Basically, they announced 20% of their workforce was being laid off, which happened a month or two ago. Then on Thursday, they let their publisher go. He's gone. And then on Friday, their marketing manager put out a tweet saying, "Hey guys, I'm looking for a job." So IDW publishing is in a bad way all of a sudden now too. And the Star Trek license and Turtles may very well be up for grabs very soon because they're in debt up to their eyeballs and they can't publish enough Turtle stuff to pay it off. The Last Ronin is not going to bail IDW out.
Oh no.
Well, yes, because look, politics in comic books have always been a thing. I mean, it just has. I mean, Neil Adams was famous for it. Alan Moore, Frank Miller, blah 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 blah. All of them.
Yep.
The problem is it became the main focus of comics, and that's where they went astray.
Right.
So
we talked about it last week. Storytelling is gone.
Oh, it is. It is.
And that's what a comic is basically made of, is a good story.
Right. And
let's face it, story, your pictures don't mean nothing.
Right.
There's only so many silent issues you can do.
The thing with DC and Marvel is they were both bought up by large entertainment conglomerates, basically. And somewhere along the way, they decided that the same hack that writes the same crappy sitcoms for their TV studios or for their movie studios or whatever is interchangeable with a comic book writer. That has happened a lot. And that's what happened to comics writing. And that's it. I mean, good writers won't work for the page rate that they're offering now. So, and the hard thing is you know what? It's not that much different than the Power Rangers discussion a minute ago. Comic books, because everything is so digital now, and it has been for 20 years, comics was a dying medium anyways, right? They needed to figure out how to make it important. And they didn't. They let it get sucked up and turned into a tool for politics. Let's face it, politics, pure and simple. Most of it is just virtue signaling by the writers anyways, so that they'll continue to have a job to work for Studio X. And that's what it boils down to. Because if you don't think so, look at some of the conservative writers that don't work in comics anymore because they can't. So that's that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I got to tell you, if you guys seen, and I'm a Batman fan, sorry. Have you guys seen this new Absolute Batman that's coming out next month? Different timeline. Blah, 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 blah.
I tried watching that animated series and I just couldn't get into it.
This Batman has this weird looking rectangular bat symbol on his chest with just a couple of points sticking out of it that are meant to look like the bat symbol, right? Now here's the problem. It just came out this past week in a spoiler that this thing actually comes off of this guy's chest and is the head of a battle axe. What does Batman need with a battle axe? So now everybody's going, so what? He runs around hacking people up with a giant axe? Or is he going to be doing nothing but hacking up non-humans? Or what? Where are we going with this exactly? So,
Timothy, I would say hot garbage.
Well, it's just.
Well, here it is. He's going green. He needs the axe to chop up firewood for the bat cave.
No, there is no more Batcave.
Yeah.
He's poor. He's middle class. There's no mansion. There's no money. There is an Alfred, but he's not his butler. No, he's just a common working man that's like 6'10" and 400 pounds. No joke. This character is absolutely immense. But he has no money. Because being rich is bad. You have to understand that. Rich is bad. So it's just like, it's just.
Sometimes I'd like to be bad.
I'd like to be bad all the time.
Right. The handwriting is on the wall, anyways. It's going to fail. The handwriting is already on the wall. So that's why I said full circle at 850. Full circle. That is why I suspect that Mr. Todd is dumping DC multiverse figures on the market as quickly as he possibly can, because number one, possibly he doesn't want the license again, or number two, the license is going to be in limbo. He's looking to cash out. That's my opinion. So,
well, speaking of Todd and Batman, I figured out why the Adam West cape was so long. I got the Rebirth Batman this week. He's got the same length cape.
Yeah.
I'm using one standard cape.
Well, sure. That makes sense. What the heck? My wife walks in and starts making faces at me. Jeez Louise, I'm telling you.
My wife does that every time I walk in the room.
Huh?
My wife does that every time I walk in the room.
Well, I'm just glad she's finally doing the laundry.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to shut this off for a second, guys. Hang on a minute.
he's gonna come back with black eyes, bloody nose.
Oh no, I
I
probably
wish I had somebody do my laundry.
I need some video evidence of this homicide. I'm just kidding. See, they're just anxiously awaiting what's to happen next. Ow! They're actually hurt. She just
that
hit
a missile?
6. Ow!
Yeah, if he comes back at all.
It's like a 1 by
So
3.
I guess that explains why that Batman's got an axe, because if he's not rich, he can't afford any of those great, awesome toys that Batman usually has.
Exactly.
He's
He's got chopped firewood.
He can't afford to throw a batarang and lose it, because
those things are like $275 a piece. What are you nuts?
Yeah. He can't afford central heating or gas. He got chopped wood to keep warm.
It's just dumb.
Bro.
It's just dumb. And I guess I don't know what happened, but there's been a whole lot of backlash going on in night, buddy. Say good night, Silas. A whole lot of stuff going on with the X-Men books at Marvel that everybody and their brother hates now too. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't
know. I quit on the House of X because that was just stupid. That was some of the worst comic book writing I've ever seen. I just don't. I mean, the whole. What's the point of having a superhero fighting a villain if he can't die? You know,
whatever happened to editors that went, no, that's crap. Because you know what? That used to happen all the time.
Yep.
Right? A writer would come with some wacky idea or whatever, and the editor was hired to protect those characters, and they'd go, yeah, no. No, back to the drawing board. That is not going to happen. Yeah. That went away. Yeah, exactly.
That's him right there.
Yeah, that's him right there. Yeah. Yep.
I agree with you. Here's the killed Marvel. I agree with you there. Like Marvel, they've only had one decent movie in 5 years to make money.
Yep. They're back to 3 movies a year start next year.
They're working on killing Star Wars too.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm actually excited for 3 Marvel movies a year because that way they'll do more Marvel movie figures and less comic figures, so I don't have to buy as many.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Give me a break, man.
I read an article today about Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which are the next 2 Avengers movie. With this whole Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom thing, I got no idea, and I'm not particularly hopeful about how they're going to pull that off and have that make any sense at all.
Well, there was a comic book. He was Doomsday in an alternate reality.
Yeah. If they do that though, you're going to really tick off a lot of people. As long as he plays Victor Von Doom, then I think he'll be okay. But if they try to make him just an evil Tony Stark, it's gonna flop. People's not gonna go with it.
I want you to think about this, guys. $80 million.
Yeah.
$80 million is what Robert Downey Jr. has contracted for.
Yep.
$80 million a movie.
Yep.
$80 million.
And I think spoiler alert, if anybody hadn't seen Wolverine Deadpool yet or Deadpool Wolverine yet.
No.
They already addressed the same character or same actor playing 2 different characters in that movie. And I think they've done that on purpose because of this coming up.
Well,
with Robert Downey Jr.
It's funny because a lot of people have said that whole movie really does make a pretty sizable mess out of a lot of things because Josh Brolin was Cable in the Deadpool movie and Thanos in the MCU, but now those are the same thing. The kid that played Quicksilver in the original Avengers or Age of Ultron is now Kraven. And that's somehow because of the Spider-Man multiverse stuff. That's all tied into the MCU.
Well, it's just kind of sort of.
They're kind of having a problem with what. There aren't more actors on the planet to do these movies. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
That's what I say. If you look at the number of actors that's been in a Marvel movie now, eventually they're going to run out of actors and have to reuse them.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Or they just cast a bunch of unknown people, but that's not going to draw people in if it's unknown.
Yeah. In the comic book, yeah.
But the Raven thing, the Sony verse, Sony's trying to do their Spider Verse, and it's kind of separate, even though because of Spider-Man No Way Home, they tied them together, but yet they're still trying to do the Spider Verse without Spider-Man because Spider-Man's is contracted for the MCU.
Right, but this is the weird thing. I read an article not too long ago with Tom Holland, and he flat out said no one has contacted him at all about ever playing Spider-Man ever again.
Yeah.
So in his mind, he's moved on. I mean, it's been years at this point. No one said a word to him about being Spider-Man ever again.
But he actually wanted to take a leave from the position because he was tired of playing it after just one movie.
Maybe they're just because there isn't even a sneaking hint of any new Spider-Man content as far as movies go. I don't know. Do you ever get the idea that maybe they try a little too hard? That this whole thing has become way overcomplicated, and it's just like, why don't you just tell stories? Would you I would like It's like pre-crisis DC, right? Let's stop with the big epic tie-ins and the summer events, and can you just tell a story? You know what? Superman and Batman have coffee every once in a while, and the Justice League is a thing, and the Avengers is a thing, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like, why does everything have to be this grandiose, big, huge tied-in thing where? Because I have to be honest with you guys, there is zero chance of me going back and watching any of this Marvel stuff that Disney has put out over the last few years to try to get caught up to watch another movie. I don't care. I don't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch it first place. I'm not going to start now. You know what I mean? We watched the WandaVision. I thought that was kind of cool. And then we watched that multiverse of whatever the heck it was, Quantum Mania or the Doctor Strange movie, which tied into that. And it was kind of like, I'm not ever watching any of this crap again.
Yeah.
I made it through the first episode of She-Hulk, and they treated the Hulk with such disrespect that I couldn't stomach. There was no chance of me ever watching another episode of that because they had already trashed that character.
Yep.
And the Hulk was my character from Marvel. I mean, I loved Hulk, but they trashed him in those movies. I don't care about. And I'm sorry, I was a Star Wars kid. I was one of them, right? I mean, and I was for a very long time. I don't care about The Mandalorian. I don't care about The Acolyte. I don't care about any of that stuff, to tell you the honest truth. Since The Force Awakens, I mean, seriously, since The Force Awakens, that was kind of like, I couldn't care less about any of the Star Wars content that Disney is going to make. Rogue One was a good movie. I thought it was good. I think Solo got a bad rap for no good reason.
Yeah, I did too.
Zero good reason. You want my honest opinion? I think they deliberately trashed Solo because it was only going to go in a certain direction, and they didn't like the direction that it was going to go in, so they trashed it. Because they wanted to do The Acolyte and they wanted to do the rest of this garbage. I never watched Andor, and I'm not gonna. Obi-Wan, but I have to tell you, man, Obi-Wan was entertaining to watch, but for a Star Wars kid, it made this much sense.
Exactly.
Princess Leia is running around with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was so far out of continuity that it just I couldn't do it. If Princess Leia, if Leia Organa was not in that show, it would have been 100% spot on smash hit.
Yep.
Right? I could have, every bit of it was believable. Every bit of it made sense. But putting Leia in there made no sense. And for me, again, just for me, it ruined it. It just absolutely ruined it.
To me, it felt like some guy, a fan fiction person, wrote it.
Well, like I said, guys, these people are TV writers. They're not good writers. They weren't never going to be script writers. They work cheap. Let's face it, they work cheap. They're all falling out of the same writing schools, junior college somewhere. It's garbage, man. It's garbage. So I don't know. I don't know. I was looking forward to the idea.
I kind of liked Andor because it did kind of lead you up to Rogue One and kind of give you the background on how the rebellion started.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like it because it was slow, because it was more telling a story than just the usual action lightsaber duels and all that.
Right.
And that's why I think a lot of people wrote it off. But if you watch it, it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. It was, like I said, it kind of give you a behind the scenes look at how the rebellion started and how they ended up where they were at there at Rogue One. But now the acolytes, I've heard it just kind of screws up continuity altogether. Some of the basic principles of the Force and all that, it just kind of, from what I've heard, it just kind of threw it all off.
My understanding of it is they literally strip away. They strip away more of Anakin Skywalker's story, because let's face it, Star Wars was about Anakin Skywalker. It wasn't about Luke and Leia. It was about Anakin Skywalker. And look, when the Phantom Menace came out, a lot of us old timers had our little hissy fits because, you know what, we were stuck in nostalgia mode. But I have to tell you, looking back on episodes 1, 2, and 3, I like them now. I like them a lot, right? They're not original trilogy good, but I like them a lot. They make sense. They're respectful. You know what? It all fits pretty well. There's some Obi-Wan quirks there, but okay, right? Like I said, the Force Awakens, you talk about just slamming the brakes on. And I don't like Mark Hamill. I think he's gone mentally. I think he's gone off the deep end in the last 10 or 12 years. I really do. I think he's playing the virtue signal game just to stay relevant in Hollywood. But his reaction to that Rian Johnston and everything that they did to Luke Skywalker is spot on. But he took the check, didn't he?
Yep.
So,
they just
and then started running his mouth after the movies were done and the check cleared. Yeah, see how that works. I think Harrison Ford has been very respectful of the whole thing. Took his check, ended Han Solo, and he's out of it. And at 82 years old, I think he is now, 81 or 82 years old. I don't blame the man one bit.
No, not me either.
So, now there is a rumor mill around that now that Kathleen Kennedy has finally been fired, that they're gonna dump that the Force Awakens whole Rey thing and reboot that third trilogy. I don't know if that's actually true or not. But
I personally wish they would. I personally wish they would drop back and do the Old Republic movies.
When they started talking about a Yoda series, a series that would jump back 700 years and talk about you, that could have been interesting, but they canned that too, because I think because you know what, that has to go in a certain direction too. They can't putz with it.
You start bringing in Darth Malak and Darth Revan and all those. People would love that. People that matter would love it anyway.
I just, you know what my real fear is? My fear is they have killed Star Wars.
Oh, they have.
I mean, that is my real fear, that they have killed it.
The only good thing about this last show was this lightsaber duels, and that was it. You have a Sith that has basically hardly any training at all, beating these Jedi Masters. So, and then you've got these, they call themselves witches, that are stronger in the Force than the Jedis are. It doesn't make sense.
And they're somehow they did the whole the whole immaculate conception thing first and produced twins, and so that Vader's Anakin's creation, so to speak, wasn't a unique thing. Blah blah blah. Again, just more. Anytime I'll say, I don't care if it's a movie, book, comic book, automobile, action figure, church, politician. I don't care what it is. Anytime anybody starts saying words like new, my take, interpretation, modernization, any of those words, and probably at least a half a dozen more, right? It's going to be reimagined. It's going to be crap on a cracker, period. Because what that says is, I have a giant ego, and I have no respect for what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to do it my way because my way is better. Right? Prove me wrong, because that's exactly the crap that we keep getting fed to us over movies. Like I said, I don't care if it's everything from comic books to automobiles. This is the garbage that we're fed by the everybody gets a trophy generation because they just know better.
I agree.
Right? Right. I wouldn't know, but I'll take your word for it. Like I said, those code words pop up and I hang it up. I'm out. I'm out already. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Shane was talking about the Sith with barely any training beating the Jedi Masters. I've determined it don't take much to become a Jedi Master because Luke only trained with Yoda, maybe a couple of days before he flew off to Cloud City, and then the next time he goes back, he's a Jedi Knight. Rey had no training at all. By the end of the first movie, she was a Jedi Knight.
That's true. Yeah, I know. Right.
It's like there's no training really. All you just got to do is be powerful with the Force, and then you become a Jedi. It's like,
well,
we're not
understand with Yoda
talking.
With a way Yoda talks, it's sort of like dog ears. Okay, just saying.
Like I said, pick your catchword, pick your catchphrase. It doesn't matter. You start reading an interview about anything, and the minute those words come up, I'm telling you, that is a arrogant person that is telling you that they have no respect for the content, they have no respect for its history, and that they know a better way. And I just got no use for it because they're always wrong.
Yep.
They're always wrong.
I got a perfect example that may not insult anybody here. The reimagined brand new Chevy Corvette, which looks like a Ferrari.
Yeah, because it's European. Because you have a whole generation of engineers that's romanticized the Europeans. So you get a mid-engine Corvette. It's all the same, guys. It's all the
looks
same.
Looks nothing like a Vet.
Well, it's not an American car.
Such a great conversation. I hate to pull the plug, but
no, pull the plug. I'm done.
It's gonna be good night.
Happy Labor Day.
DOA.